beginning of the problem, that's when it happened. I mean, because again, Nixon didn't want to do the right thing. The right thing would have been just they were printing too much money. There was a gold raise. What they should have done is devalue the dollar, raise the price of gold, stop the drain, and then cut government spending. But instead, they removed all the discipline on spending that gold had placed. They went off the gold standard completely, and that's why we had all the inflation in the 70s. That's why the price of oil went from $3 a barrel to $30 a barrel. That's why gold went to $800 an ounce. It was because the dollar collapsed. And we moved the gold back, and now we're in danger of a much bigger collapse of the dollar because the fundamentals of our economy are far worse than they were in the early 1970s. Oh, I wanted the hell out of them. People are going to be shocked at what they fought. No, there's a lot of derivatives. We know that they've got all the mortgage paper. We know they got the credit card debt, the student loans. What the hell's that stuff? I mean, they can't sell it. That's the problem. They always talk about their exit strategy, but that's all they can do is talk about it because there's no way to actually exit. Because that means they got to find buyers for it. Buyers. And then you get a much bigger crisis when you get real pricing on those assets. Because then we discover that all these banks are even less solvent than they were before. Now what are we going to do? Bail them out again?
Somebody else here might have
airframe guys come up. We've got real problems, and they're trying to put more robots in front of the
peacefully, but we're not. I actually
I don't even say that the planet really warming because there's garbage and even if it is warming, how do we know it's man-made? We've got real serious problems that I know and my gym is right there. Why are we talking about? Yeah, that's there. Just like if you're sitting at the tight are you going to worry about global warming?
Jim has one card. I think right over here. Jim has got he's got the punk cards in his hand.
Thank you for taking my question. You're like one of the few politicians I've ever seen that actually has the answer.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I bet you got so much stuff in his card too. You guys like volunteers?
I don't care. And maybe it means I don't get elected. But if I am, I'm going to get elected and then hold the truth.
You actually take a stance.
Paul Soroka.
Oh, you're Paul. Hi, yeah, nice to meet you. All righty.
People ask about Social Security. I don't know who Paul is for half an hour.
Oh, good.
I dropped off the same thing as last week. I had another 57 minutes, but anyway, I would like to take some of the cards.
Of course. Yeah, you can have as many as you want. I have plenty.
I can always see you the next thing, too. I got a couple of so we need to get together now.
Sure. I have plenty in the car, so.
That's a gray line between Democrats and Republicans.
I know, so people are forced to look for a third party because they've been betrayed by the Republican Party. So we need to elect Republicans that are actually different. Now, what happens with Republicans, whenever they're out of power, like they are now, they talk a good game. But the minute they get power, they act just like the Democrats they replaced. But that's, I mean, so we got to stop that. And the only way to stop that is to get the politicians out of office. Because somebody like me, who doesn't want to be in Washington, wants to get out of there as quickly as I arrive. 6 years seems like a lifetime to me. I want to do that job. I think if I can't turn this thing around in less than 6 years, it's too late.
Here, thank you. Here. Pleasure to meet you.
I've never ever contributed, thought I'd ever contribute to political candidate. I've contributed to, yeah.
Well, thank you. I get that a lot. I get letters. I've never contributed to anybody.
I've never even thought. I think completely apathetic, just disgruntled, disconnected. And I feel like you're definitely connected with people like me and who, you know, are intelligent people who believe stuff and care.
Well, if you want to volunteer, you know, we're getting a lot of volunteers to help on the campaign.
I have one request, and that is to plan to back me up on this. You can turn your intellect, like you did towards Austrian economics, towards the issue of oil, looking at sources of issues that affect our country going forward, and come up mastered that subject the way you did Austrian economics, come back.
Like almost like kind of come in and kind of talk to us about here's where you're screwing up and
You know,
Thanks a lot. That was really good.
Thanks.
I watched you on YouTube, believe it or not.
Well, I got a lot of YouTube videos up there.
Wife I have, but
American Express.
I mean, you totally bumped me out.
Well, the hope, well, there is hope.
There is.
But that's what everybody was telling me in the past when I was warning about this coming collapse. And I'd get on the phone with prospects and try to tell them about it. And they go, well, look, this is really depressing. I said, well, you know, but there's something you can do about it. Would you rather be forewarned so you can be forearmed, pretend, prepare for what's going to happen?
We do have some here. Look how much money I would have made.
Well, if you would have bought, yeah, there are stocks this year that are up 2,000%. You just don't know about them because they're not in this country. But
Do you think politically what happened just now, do you think we're seeing the tide going up? I mean, he basically funded your message.
no, he didn't. He's nowhere near my message. He's a very, no, but that's what he's saying. But if you look at his record and the things that he said, he's still a big government guy. He's still a classic big government Republican, a la Bush. I do draw hope. In the fact that it's going to energize. The fact that a seat that was held by a Democrat for 50 years in a liberal state fell to a Republican, and the challenger was a very popular attorney general. It's a very similar situation in Connecticut with Dodd's seat. Is it going to be held by a popular attorney general? And I think it's going to energize Republicans for fundraising, for support. I think it's good precedent, and I think it's a good thing. But I think I am a much better senator. I don't think that Brown is going to make much of a difference. I don't think he's going to change the status quo. I don't think he understands what really needs to be done. I will be very different. So I think it'll be a much bigger victory for people who believe in limited government and want change to send me to Washington. But the fact that he got there first might make it easier to pass states. What is his plan? Send me to Washington and I'll file more lawsuits? That's going to get us out of this mess? We don't need a lawyer. Right? We need a businessman. And if you look at just his department, look at how many lawyers were working under him when he started 20 years ago. All he's done is grown government dramatically. So he's going to try to say, send me to Washington so I can do for Washington what I did for Hartford. Yeah, you think the people of Connecticut are going to buy that? He's going to go there and clean up Washington. Look at the mess he's made here. So he's got a record of failure.
Is that really like a button?
What's success?
He fought for the public to keep a liquefied natural gas.
He was a lead. He is like a Jesse Jackson. He's self-promoted. Many of the lawsuits he filed cost the taxpayers more in legal bills than they collected. It was all about his image. It was all about preparing for the Senate. He said it himself. I've always wanted to be a senator. Well, you know what? This is not. We're not going to reward you with a Senate seat because that's your ambition. I never wanted to be a senator, but the problem is I have to be one because the other senators stood up to me. I think running against is going to be almost as easy as running against Donald. And I like the fact that he's such a favorite because he's way up here. He can only come down. And once that momentum starts, it's going to be like a bad stock. It's just going to keep on going down. And I'm down here, and I'm going to get that trend, and I'm going to get the momentum. And I'm going
Also, I tried to look over this, but when I used to work at
But you know what? It appeals to politicians because it helps get them elected. Because they can play Santa Claus. Aha! We need economic stimulus. We're going to send out checks. We're going to go buy stuff. Oh, great! I'll vote for you. No, there's nobody. And hey, you couldn't keep it secret. But they're not smart enough to orchestrate this. It's just the consequence of their ineptitude. And if you understand how economics work and you know their problems, that's why all the predictions I made, none of it was because I was smart. All I did was understand the basics. And my head wasn't all clouded, some of the concepts, but everything that happened was so easily predictable. It was obvious to anybody who was. And there are a lot of other people, other than myself, that knew about it. They just didn't go on TV and they didn't write books. But they knew it. Because I got
How'd that work out for you?
we were saying exactly what I'm saying. And they were telling me about their experience, their arguments with their friends, how And I had the same experience. And for a while, maybe you start to doubt yourself. You think, maybe I am crazy. But then when people saw me on television, then they realized, we're the same. Because everybody else is not.